Wait, you played Scrooge?
Yes.
That's hilarious. Now, were you playing a female Scrooge or you were playing the male Scrooge?
I was playing the male Scrooge.
That is awesome.
Welcome back to the zoo. Our next guest is making headlines in the Academy Award nominated short, Please Hold. Give it up for Doreen Calderon. Welcome.
Hey, welcome.
Excited to have you.
So what's Please Hold about?
Oh, okay. So, it's sort of a dystopian, if you like Black Mirror kind of genre. Yeah, right? Where a young man gets arrested by a drone. Everything is automated. And he hasn't done anything. And it meets the frustration of AI where he can't talk to a human being. So everything is automated. Like, what am I arrested for? Please put the handcuffs on, that sort of thing. And he can't have any contact with a human being. So it's a combination of looking at artificial intelligence, automated artificial intelligence, facial recognition, and the privatization of prisons.
Wow. And tell us about your role. Is it a spoiler?
I'm wondering if it's a spoiler. Let me just say that I am the defendant's mother.
Ooh, okay.
I don't have to, let me just say I am. I'm the defendant's mother. Yes.
I mean, what excited you about doing this film? I mean, it really does, it's a scary time to be alive, with everything that's going on. I feel like we're watched all the time. Did it resonate with you when you took this role?
Well, here's the funny thing about it. I didn't know what the big picture was until I saw it a year later.
So they just gave you your part and you just focused on that. They didn't give you the rest of the script? You didn't?
Well, either that or I was in too much of a hurry to really read everything. I don't remember. I don't remember. I'm sure they did, but I'm like, okay, yeah, and that happens and that. I just wanted to be really prepared for what I needed to do. I didn't realize how well thought out this was.
How layered and...
It's just so, the timing is everything. And here's the thing, we are the only, if I may say, nominee of the 5 nominees that has humor in the piece. And that's what's so wonderful about it, because when we auditioned for it, as the parents, the director had us play. That's all we did was improvise and play. Sure, we had the script, but that for me is so enjoyable because that's my roots from the second city in Chicago.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that after.
So when you get to LA, you don't get that opportunity that often, only in commercials, but not too much in really what we would like to do is television and film. And here the director was giving us that freedom to do.
And you can watch it. You can watch it right now on HBO Max.
Yes.
And then the Oscars are coming up soon. So this is the best short category.
A live action short.
Best live action short. I mean,
yeah.
You were gonna add something?
Yeah. I'm curious because I know that you're an improv actress,
yeah.
and from Second City. How do you feel that that training has lent to all the roles you've played over the years?
Wow, all of them. You know what improv did for me? It allowed me to be me, because I would say things out of turn in real life. But what I was doing was I was honestly responding to what people were saying, and I was able to find the funny in it, or the twist of words or something like that. And then when I got involved with improv, it was all of that nurturing, bringing it out of me. So when I have a role that gives me the opportunity to do that on any level, and I think even the simplest and the one that I really value the most, the level that I value the most is taking in the environment. Like for this film, one thing that we're not allowed to do as actors is look into the camera, right? But in my role, you're gonna see that I can look right into the camera. Where's the camera? Right into the camera. And that created something different for me when I was dealing with that. The environment changed. What I saw was right here. It wasn't here, what I saw was the other person's world. It's just such, I just love doing it.
Do you lose yourself in roles? Are you a method actress?
Wow.
That's always a scary thing, right? Like when people lose themselves. in the role.
It's scary for me when I'm working with someone like that, because I'll go up to them and go, "Hey, do you need a water?" Oh, they're in their role. I am 150% in my role when I'm doing it.
Okay.
But for me, it's easy to come out and to go back in.
You come back out and
Yeah, I mean, sometimes depending on if it's dramatic, I'll need a little space, but I'm not,
Are there actors that go? I mean, we hear these stories of certain method actors that stay in their character the entire time, like the Christian Bale types.
Yeah.
Is that sometimes, like you talked about, like you go up to some of these people and offer water, and they're like, is it a little hard to navigate in between? And is it as common as we hear, or it's more rare that an actor
Right.
or an actress stays in their role in between takes and kind of makes everybody, pretend they're this person still, even though they're not shooting?
Well, I can only talk from my experience, so I haven't worked on like feature films that are heavy, right? So my experience is, for the most part, people just kind of go in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A comedy, the people that are in comedies are typically just more laid back. In between.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know if I can mention.
Yes, you can.
We're all just staring.
Who hurt you on set?
I had an opportunity this past year to work with Woody Harrelson. Wow. And we're in the holding area just like this. It was me, him, and the other lead. And he is so lovely, very engaging. But when we were actually on set, I remember he was exactly what you're saying, easygoing, in and out, and really in it when he was doing it, and then just would like observe and joke around. He was very funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love those though.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about growing up in Chicago and how you got into Second City, because Second City, Chicago is like the biggest one, and then there's also one in Toronto, I think, right?
Oh, yeah.
Those are the two big ones. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with Doreen Calderon. We're back on the Zoo with Doreen Calderon, who is in Please Hold, a live-action short that's nominated for an Academy Award, and you can watch on HBO Max. Now, you got your start in Second City. First of all, what was it like growing up in Chicago? Because you're of Mexican descent, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in Chicago, the Latin community is a lot of Puerto Ricans and a lot of Mexicans. Was there, like, what part of town did you grow up in? Did you notice the divide and where it overlapped? And
Oh my God.
was it like a West Side Story, growing up in your...
I don't know if we have enough time for this. Now here's my story. My parents grew up in an age of our country where it was important to assimilate. So they wanted us to live in a white neighborhood. But the only white neighborhood that my parents could afford was a neighborhood of Lithuanian immigrants.
You fit right in.
So even though we were the only brown kids in school, it was the white kids who were the immigrants, not us. But that's just an observation decades later, right? When I was in it, I never felt different from the other kids. I made friends really easily. They accepted me really easily. I looked at them going to their Lithuanian language classes and their outside activities. They had dance. I learned more about their culture than mine. And that was okay until I got older. I'm like, oh, there's something missing that I didn't get. So a lot of my adult life has been kind of playing catch up. But growing up, it's very segregated in Chicago,
Right.
unless you live along the lake. If you live along the lake, there's more liberalism and there's more money. So there's a lot of integration, right? A lot of education. But we were farther west from the lake. We lived in an area called Marquette Park. And if anybody who's a fan of the Blues Brothers remembers this one scene where the Blues Brothers are about to drive into a Nazi rally, and I think it was Elwood Blue says, "I hate Illinois Nazis." Well, Marquette Park,
Don't we all?
Marquette Park had a reputation when I was growing up for being sort of a base area for these neo-Nazis.
Oh no.
But in the Catholic school, they told us whenever they go out marching, you close your shades, you don't pay attention. So we understood that there was something wrong with them. But again, I never felt that. In the real life of the day-to-day, I never felt that. I had lots of friends. I loved doing theater since I was a kid. There was nobody looking at me saying, you look like this, so you can't do. And these are the roles I did as a kid. Scrooge, Peter Pan, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz.
Wait, you played Scrooge?
Yes.
That's hilarious. Now, were you playing a female Scrooge or you were playing the male Scrooge?
I was playing the male Scrooge.
That is awesome.
It was pretty awesome. It
We
was,
need a Mexican actress to play the male Scrooge.
I was kind of floored when the director gave me the role. I'm like, oh, I knew because I would show off all the time. I would show off, and I was really good at memorizing stuff. I'm like, oh, I didn't know I was that good. Oh no, now I have the lead. And I kind of felt bad because of the other boys. They didn't even have a chance, you know, but I did it.
How'd you get to Second Tell me about getting into Second City, because Chicago's Second City, I don't know if they were the first or Toronto, but they were definitely one of the seminal ones. It's the blues, you know,
Right.
James Belushi came out of that. I
Right.
mean, some of the biggest people on SNL came out of that. What was it like when you took part in Second City?
Again, there was really, at the time, there was really only, this is going to sound strange, one position open for a person of color with every group. That's just the way it was. But the only reason I started taking classes there was because I had just come out of a theater conservatory that was very, very intense. And I'm like, I need to free up my mind. I need to let loose. So I took classes at Second City and loved it.
I would have dated you around that time. I need to let loose too. Right, you were saying.
So I'm like, well, would I have dated you?
No,
That is
no,
the
you wouldn't have. You're
So here's what's really unexpected. I didn't expect to join the company. I just wanted to have fun. And then a couple years later, they were opening up the doors. They wanted people of color to come in, and they invited me to audition. I'm like, all right. And then I got in. I'm like, oh. It was at that moment I realized how important this was. People come from all over the country just to have an opportunity to audition, and I got in. But you know, I had already been doing other improv in the meantime. I had my own groups. I was working around the city. I was already a member of the Actors Equity Union at that time.
What's Chicago like in the scheme of production and entertainment? Because we always listen to, you know, it's New York and LA, right? New York and LA, but Chicago really does have a lot. I mean, Oprah. I mean, not to take it back to her. She had her show there. Second City came out of there.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of theaters. Was there a lot of productions happening in Chicago, or did you have to move to LA?
I had to move to LA. That's why I moved to LA. There was really only like one major production that would come to Chicago a year. And it wasn't because it's a fantastic theater town. And I did so much theater there. They would really only call in the people who either worked at Steppenwolf or Second City for the films that came into town or the television shows that came into town. So I was fortunate. But there wasn't enough of this television and film in Chicago for me. So I'm like, well, let me give it a try. If it doesn't work out, at least I tried.
Right.
Go ahead.
But now they've got lots of production going on.
You have an amazing energy. Okay, I was serious about the whole thing about when you were ready to let loose, we'd be dating. So check her out on Please Hold, and what's the Call Me Cat?
Call me Cat. on
Call Me
Fox.
Cat. Doreen, let's say it correctly.
Calderon.
Calderon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and you've been watching The Zoo. See you next time, guys.